Hello, I'm Fukui Drew, and welcome to 5 Minutes with the Family, the YouTube series where I play every Japanese exclusive Super Nintendo game and give a 5-minute review. Or, maybe like 7 minutes in the case of this video. Today we're suiting up with the Wanzers, yes, that's a Z, not a K, of the Canyon Crow's mercenary group in Front Mission. Released in 1995, the series is still alive and well, shooting out a total of 15 games and spin-offs. This iconic strategy RPG was developed by Squaresoft and developed by G-Craft, one of the few third-party collaborations Square did during their Super Nintendo days. In fact, G-Craft did such a great job that Square just bought them out once production started on the game's true sequel. With so much history with this series, let's just jump into it and see how it all began. The story follows Ace Wanzer pilot Lloyd, sometimes spelled with an R to very hilarious effect. But as crazy as it sounds, Lloyd is on the list of the top 50,000 most common voice names. Barely. And besides, this LR mistake is fitting considering that for most of the game, Royd really is a pain in the backside. He really is an unlikable hero. Sure, he's brooding and depressed, but there has to be some redeeming quality, right? Now, despite having arguably the best name in video game history, in the end I just changed his name to Drew because I'm still a 10-year-old at heart that likes to put my name and the names of the girls that I like into video games. Now, Royd's life takes a dark turn when a routine recon mission accidentally sparks a major military conflict between the OCU, kind of like Japan but not really, and the USN, kind of like America but not really, on the fictional Huffman Island. To make things worse, his fiancée is tragically killed. Wait, 10-minute rule. Happens in the first 10 minutes, so it's not a spoiler. Leaving the armed forces behind, Roy joins a mercenary unit with ties to the main army, but their true mission is shrouded in mystery. Oddly enough, these mercenaries seem to outperform the regular army at every turn. The sheer number of characters in this game makes it hard for any one of them to stand out. Most fall somewhere between overused tropes and plain dullness. You've got the secretive, no-nonsense army commander, the grizzled soldier who lives for battle, and even a laid-back hippie store clerk. While their dialogue isn't exactly riveting, I do get a kick out of how they seemingly vanish into a black hole after speaking. It's oddly hilarious and creepy, and reminds me of those eerie codec calls in Metal Gear Solid 2. The game is spread out over 30 levels, and while the story doesn't pick up until about halfway through, the solid gameplay mechanics will keep you hooked early on. Without giving too much away, expect twists, betrayals, epic boss battles, interesting strategies, diverse environments, and a dash of that JRPG weirdness. It's a mixed bag, but a fun one worth experiencing. The enemy AI is a bit spotty. Most of the time it zeroes in on the weakest member of your team, Franklin, yes, I'm looking at you, and picks everyone off one by one. There's no grand strategy at work here, just some pre-programmed goals. Countering this is hilariously easy. My go-to, I employ a bullet sponge technique, patent pending, in which I use one guy, Franklin, you're up, to charge out and take the enemy's fire while the bulk of the army swoops in and destroys them from behind. If executed properly, you won't lose even a single unit, though Franklin will come out looking pretty worse for wear. Sometimes though, the AI just defies logic. Take level 8, where you face a massive building-sized Wanzer called a Clinton type, Clinton, like the president in 1995. They are constantly trying to remind us that the USN is basically America. I spent so much time picking apart this support army, bracing for the chaos this mechanical monstrosity would unleash, and then, just as it approached my line, it turned around and waddled away. No drama. I just pelted it with missiles from a distance until it crumbled. What should have been a brutal fight ended up being laughably easy. And this isn't even a one-off. The same thing happened in level 16. In fact, throughout the game, only one boss ever actually attacked me. Apparently, if you hit them hard enough, they decide, yeah, it's not worth it, and retreat. The gameplay flow is smooth and well-paced, but oh man, those level up screens get old real fast. You'll see them a lot. Leveling up may be crucial, but there's little strategy to it. Sure, you can grind in the Coliseum, but you'll hit a ceiling early on, and only in-game enemies will provide large amounts of XP. My advice, skip the XP farming at the Coliseum and instead focus on the money. Use the Coliseum as an ATM if you must, but focus on getting enough cash to supply your entire army with the best gear. Remember, even weak allies and strong Wanzers can win battles, especially once you unlock the ability to target specific parts in a firefight. Each character has 4 main stats: melee, close combat, long distance combat, and dodge and ability. In theory, this lets you balance your squad and build specialized Wanzers, but in practice, I just say screw it and use the same multi-weapon loadout for everyone. Why risk being caught behind enemy lines without the right weapon? It is not rare for close combat Wanzer to have an opportunity to attack from far away and vice versa. Though be aware, customization can get a bit out of control, with over a dozen Wanzers to modify and 10 different parts per unit. On top of that, there are 78 different body types, 88 different arm types, 83 leg types, 50 computers, 10 backpacks, 78 grip weapons, and 28 shoulder-mounted weapons and shields. If you do the math, that's about 100 quadrillion different loadouts. If you spent 1 second assembling each loadout, it would take you as long as the age of the Earth itself to look at each one. No wonder it feels like I spend more time in the shop than on the battlefield. If you'd rather fight than tinker, just stick to a single versatile Wanzer designed for all allies and call it a day. The game looks absolutely incredible for a Super Nintendo title. The graphics are top notch and the animations are fantastic. Even when the Wanzers are standing still, they feel heavy, powerful, and imposing. The visuals do an excellent job of pulling you into the world. The action screens are particularly striking, making you feel like Mighty Mechs really are clashing across Huffman Island's hills, forests, and cities. I also love the small touches, like how these missiles streak through the air and how they hit with varying levels of explosive impact. Each weapon not only looks unique, but also behaves differently, making every battle a joy to watch. And the character design's amazing, just as you would expect from Yoshitaka Amano of Final Fantasy fame. Even those little blinking animations add charms. The only letdown in the visuals is the static single-frame artwork for the cities. Whether it's Grey Rock or Fort Monas, they all look the same. With just a little bit more variety here, the presentation would have been flawless. Overall, Front Mission is one of my favorite RPGs on the Super Nintendo, despite a few bumps along the way. Seriously, like these bumps. Why can't I cross this terrain a little bit easier? In addition, the inventory system can be a hassle, constantly asking for confirmation when swapping items. The slow-paced story early on and some repetitive gameplay moments might test your patience, but the experience is still worth it. I give it a 81 out of 100. I snagged mine for just 1,200 yen, a steal for a piece of RPG history. My instruction booklet is water damaged, but the box is clean, which is important because the box art is worth the 1,200 yen alone. Anyway, with that, we'll just wrap up another episode. Remember to like and subscribe, and in life as in games, be a hero, select your goals, and start your adventure. This has been Fukui Drew. Goodbye.